Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fish Tank. I'm Bad as Fish, and today we're going to be looking at the two new cards that were just added to Minion Masters. Now, if you watched my patch notes video, I put a link up here for you, you would have seen the two new cards added. So what we're going to do today is just refresh our memory about how they work and then have a look at them in action. Right, so what do we have first of all? Okay, so Rendrath the Deathless is the first new card added. So this guy's an 8 mana accursed minion, 800 health, 150 damage every 3.3 seconds, given a DPS of 45. Now, his unique selling point is the fact that he applies this Rendrath's mark when he attacks. So the Rendrath's mark is applied upon his attack. You'll see like a skull icon appear to indicate the application of the mark, and that mark is permanent. So Rendrath doesn't have to stay alive for its activation. Obviously you want him to, but he doesn't have to. It's a permanent mark, and I think there's like a graphical illustration that you can tell units that have been marked. Okay, but what does the mark do? Okay, so when a unit is marked, when it dies, after 5 seconds, it will return to fight for you. Now, it will have half health and half damage, so it's weakened, and it is cursed, so it's going to be losing 3% max health every second. But this can be applied as often as he can attack. There's no cooldown on it except his attack speed, which is 3.3 seconds. So he can mark a unit, res it, move on to the next one, so on and so forth. And you can potentially have a little bit of an army behind you. So it'll be interesting to see how people use that and to see how he is best featured. A reminder that he is an accursed minion, but he doesn't have an accursed ascension trigger, so you don't have to play him in an accursed ascension deck. So Rendrath is the first new card. The second new card is Ghast. So Ghast is kind of a simplified version of Rendrath, in so much as he's a 5 mana accursed minion, he's got 500 health, he's got 100 damage every 3.3 seconds, doing DPS of 30. Now, what his ability is whenever an enemy minion dies nearby, he will raise a little skeleton. Now, he does have a 5-second cooldown, so you can only revive one of these skeletons every 5 seconds. But crucially, different to how Rendrath works is Ghast doesn't have to attack, doesn't have to do anything to that minion. All he has to be is nearby it when something dies, and he'll res a skelly. Whereas the opposite of that was Rendrath, where he had to actually apply his mark by attacking the unit directly. So, similar but different. And let's have a look at them in action now. Okay, so let's have a look at Rendrath the Deathless in action. Now, I may or may not refer to him as Kendrath. Might have already messed up, but I'll do my best to call him Rendrath. Okay, so let's have a look how he works. So we're going to spawn him in the pocket here. And remember, when he attacks, he will mark. So we'll see him here on the warrior. He will kill the warrior immediately, but the mark still goes through. And we'll see the dark pool on the ground, and the warrior will respawn, just as a standard warrior. Again, then we kill the priestess. Another inky pool on the ground, and the priestess is back to fight for us. The units that have been revived, you can see they're darkened to illustrate that fact that they're weakened. We've got a Annihilator in there as well. So some good units getting revived and fighting for us. You can see they are all kind of dying because of the curse, but they do last for a while, and we do get some value out of them. So that's Rendrath. Okay, now we're going to have a look at how Ghast works. Remember, Ghast is the cheaper of the two new minions, and he should be reviving skeletons when anything near him dies. Let's see if that works. Okay, so we spawned Ghast here in the pocket, facing these Legionnaires, got some support, and we're going to help him tank as well. Right, so the first unit dies. Here we go. A little skeleton has been revived. Remember, there's a 5-second cooldown before he can revive the next one. Okay, so that's 2 skeletons and counting. And there's the third one. So remember, he doesn't have to kill it. There's the fourth one. So the Grenadier's killing a lot of the things, but the skeletons are still reviving. So we got a... Whilst we don't have an army of the skeletons, they have been useful, tanking things, and getting some value in that way. So he's almost dead, but here we see another skeleton revived. So I've lost count, there's 6 or 7 maybe. There's some good value from him. And that's just an illustration of how he works. Should be fun. And there we have it, a quick overview of the two new cards, Rendrath and Ghast. We see on paper how they work, and now we see in principle out there on the battlefield how their abilities are triggered and what sort of value we can get from them. Now, I'm excited to check out these new cards, but I'm also excited to see what you guys can do when you get your hands on them, what kind of strategies you come up with. That's going to be a fun time. Let me know in the comments if you got any thoughts and feelings about these new cards. And of course, if you're enjoying the content, as always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Bad as Fish, and this is An Awkward Wave.